Hello guys, this is the Gaming Revolution here and welcome back to an all new Infinite Warfare Zombies DLC 1 Rave in the Redwoods video, and today we've gotten a ton of new information for Rave in the Redwoods from Lee Ross over on Twitter. Now, it's not the biggest and most elaborate information in the world, but he has given us a lot of teasers in regards to Rave in the Redwoods, and seemingly it seems like we're going to be getting a gameplay trailer and also a cinematic intro cutscene very soon for Rave in the Redwoods. So expect next Tuesday either a trailer or the intro cutscene for Rave in the Redwoods, and then I would presume the following week we would see the trailer or the cinematic again. So we'll get one on the first Tuesday and then the other one on the next Tuesday. That's what I think is going to be happening here. So the first piece of information that Lee Ross has teased to us in regards to Rave in the Redwoods is someone tweeted at him saying, "What do you think players will look forward to the most or have to worry about when playing Rave in the Redwoods?" And he replied saying there is much to watch out for, but the slasher is in a class of his own, like the Brute, but much worse. Now obviously the Brute was the boss zombie within Zombies in Spaceland, and I thought it was quite overpowered. It had an enormous amount of health, and obviously it shot that laser at you. Overall, I think it was quite the difficult boss indeed. And they also spawned quite often, but from Lee Ross's words, it seems like the slasher is actually going to be worse than the Brute boss on Zombies in Spaceland. Now the slasher is going to be based off of like the slasher films, so he's going to be a murderer of some sort. A lot of people think it's going to be Jason Voorhees, or based off of Jason Voorhees. Now the next new piece of information that we've gotten from Rave in the Redwoods is Lee Ross tweeted out saying, "Happy Friday the 13th. Here's some concepts for our casting heading into the 90s. More to come," because Rave in the Redwoods is going to be set in the 1990s, and he's given us some promotional images or some concept art for our characters on Zombies in Spaceland, which I will be showing in the background right now. So we've got each of the 4 different characters, but obviously their faces are different from what they're actually going to look like, and this is just concept art, so it's not going to be what they actually look like in game, because obviously on Zombies in Spaceland they took the persona of the 80s, the 1980s, the disco theme, and obviously in each of the DLCs the characters are going to be set within different movie settings, and the characters will take on personas and roles of that setting. So in this case they're going to be taking on the role of these Raver kids within the 1990s. Now the next thing that he has indeed responded to, which is our first teaser from Lee Ross in regards to the fact that we seemingly will probably be getting a gameplay trailer and a cinematic cutscene very soon. So most likely, as he said, we're going to be seeing one of those next Tuesday, I would presume, and then the other one the following Tuesday. So someone said, "I am speechless how no Rave in the Redwoods trailer was dropped today, Friday the 13th. I mean, who runs your public representations at Infinite Warfare, Lee Ross?" And then Lee Ross responded, "Not me, but I still try to represent the community." So basically saying that he probably would have thought that, you know, they should release it today, but obviously the public representation thought otherwise, and that's probably because they always release the trailers on Tuesdays for some weird reason, so they didn't really want to break protocol. Now the next tweet that is teased to us in regards to Rave in the Redwoods is someone tweeted saying, "Is the cast getting new names too, or are they still sticking to their Spaceland names?" So Lee Ross responded saying, "Original cast is making a return, but will be filling entirely new roles in the 90s, fish out of water. That's how Willard rolls." So as he said, basically within each of the movies they're going to take on completely different new roles. Although they're going to be the same people, it's going to be like they're completely different people at the same time, because they'll have new roles, they'll have new personalities and stuff like that. Again, he responded to someone in a similar fashion. So someone said, "I'm confused, I thought we were having the same characters for the Zombies in Spaceland, but these people look different." So Lee Ross responded saying, "Same folks, new roles to play in an all new Willard Wyler film." Now the next thing that Lee Ross has tweeted is someone said, "Any hints about a special guest star to replace the Huff?" Who obviously David Hasselhoff played the DJ within Zombies in Spaceland, and he responded saying nope with the sunglasses emoji. So this is teasing that we are indeed probably going to be getting a guest star, a celebrity star within Rave in the Redwoods, like we got David Hasselhoff on Zombies in Spaceland. We just don't know who it is at the moment, or if we're going to get Huff returning, or we're going to get a new celebrity character. We'll just have to wait and see. Now again, he just reiterated the fact that we're going to be getting the same characters, because someone said, "Will our cast have the same different voice actors?" And he responded saying, "No, returning cast comes back to continue their adventure." Now he's just tweeted out also saying, "Cinematic work for Rave in the Redwoods is complete. The saga continues ... Hashtag DLC1, hashtag Rave in the Redwoods." Now what this means is Rave in the Redwoods is fully complete and ready for packaging now. So essentially they have made the intro cutscene as well as the ending cutscene, if there is going to be one. We didn't see one on Zombies in Spaceland, but I've got a sneaky suspicion we're going to see one on Rave in the Redwoods. Redwoods because he's teased it in the past, and a lot of people complain that we didn't get one for Zombies in Spaceland, so I think they're going to listen to fan feedback and give us one within Rave in the Redwoods. So all of the cinematography has been done, the intro cutscene, the ending cutscene, and any other cutscenes if there are indeed some, although I doubt so. And also the trailers are most likely done, so again this is just more hints that we're going to be seeing this new trailer probably next Tuesday, or the intro cutscene next Tuesday, and the following Tuesday as well for the alternative. Now someone else said, hey, maybe not possible, but figured I'd give it a shot. Any new perks on Rave in the Redwoods? And then he responded saying yes, with an emoji with the zipper on his mouth. So he has confirmed that there are indeed going to be new perks within Rave in the Redwoods. Now he did say this within an interview a while back, but he's just further reiterated here, but he's not giving away what the new perks will be. Now I'm not sure if we're going to just see one new perk or if we're going to see more than one, because he has teased in the past that we may possibly be seeing more than one, so that'll be very cool indeed. Now this same guy responded to that saying, sweet, what about the melees? Will they change from Zombies in Spaceland? And he said, that my friend, I cannot wait to show you. So there's going to be tons of new melee weapons just like the ones that we saw within the gameplay trailer, so that's very good indeed. Now here's the next interesting thing that Lee Ross has teased to us. So the same guy responded to that saying, awesome, but just so you know, if I don't see some kind of stick melee / melee weapon in the map, I will be much disappointed. And then he responded with the sunglasses emoji, so we're going to be seeing some sort of stick melee weapon on the map, or glow stick melee weapon, so that's definitely cool. A glow stick melee weapon would be awesome. It would fit the Raver theme as well. It'd be cool having a glowable object in your hand. It would sort of light up the area because the map's going to be very dark and gloomy. Now someone responded to the image that he posted earlier of the new concepts for the characters saying, is the Syndicate looking guy supposed to be AJ's character? Do you guys have a facelift budget just for him? Lee Ross responded saying, it's amazing what a haircut and a new set of threads can do for someone. Hashtag Ike Baron Holtz. Hashtag AJ. So essentially the character looks completely different with his new, cosmos and stuff like that. Now someone else tweeted at Lee Ross, will we see any new weapons or even throwables in DLC 1? And he responded saying, fuck yeah, with again the sunglasses emoji. So we will indeed be seeing new weapons, but that was obvious. But the interesting thing about this is he mentioned throwables within this tweet, so we may see some new throwables such as grenades, or we may see something like we saw in Mob of the Dead. We obviously had the Hell's Retriever. It'll be interesting to see some sort of new tactical grenades and stuff like that. That'll be cool. Now he then responded to this tweet saying, can we play as Slasher by the way? I'm so hyped. Now he responded with the zipper emoji once again to keep his mouth shut, and that would be cool if we can actually play as the Slasher, because the Slasher seems like it's going to be the new boss zombie on Rave in the Redwoods. As he said, a lot of people think he's going to be Jason Voorhees, so by the fact that he's done the zipper emoji, it's teasing that maybe, just maybe, we might be able to play as the boss zombie. I'm not sure how that would be, unless within the Easter egg we have to somehow, befriend him or trap him. I'm not really sure how that would work. Maybe if you complete the Easter egg, you can play as the Slasher character, just like you could play as the DJ David Hasselhoff if you completed the Zombies in Spaceland Easter egg. Now someone else responded to Lee Ross saying, does this mean we have an ending cutscene after the Easter egg for Rave in the Redwoods? And he again responded with the zipper emoji, signaling that he has to keep his mouth shut, but in my own personal opinion, that's definitely a teaser in regards to the fact that we probably will be seeing an ending cutscene for the Easter egg on Rave in the Redwoods, and I think that'll definitely, better the map, because the storyline was so lackluster on Zombies in Spaceland, and I think it's going to really, jump a massive leap forward with Rave in the Redwoods. Now here's the most interesting thing, which I think is very, very cool. So someone tweeted at Lee Ross saying, will we be getting a trailer just for zombies soon then? Lee Ross responded saying, does a bear shit in the woods? ? So this is pretty much him saying 100% we're going to be seeing a full-fledged Rave in the Redwoods trailer very soon. So look out for that. As I said, I think it's going to be next Tuesday. We're probably going to see the intro cutscene or the gameplay trailer next Tuesday. The following Tuesday, we'll see the alternative of one of those two that they didn't show the first Tuesday. That seems like what they're going to do. Now someone else tweeted to Lee Ross saying, when will we see this cutscene? Obviously the intro cutscene for Rave in the Redwoods. Lee Ross responded before the DLC drops, again with the sunglasses emoji. So we will be seeing the intro cutscene very, very soon, so look out for that. Again, Rave in the Redwoods DLC 1 is going to be coming out on the 31st, so in just over 2 weeks time. So we have 2 Tuesdays left until the DLC drops. Someone else tweeted at Lee Ross saying, hey, will there be a cinematic scene on completion of the main Easter egg? Again, he responded with the zipper emoji, again signaling that he's got to keep his mouth shut. But the fact that he's responding to a lot of these tweets with that same, emoji, definitely signals that there probably is going to be one. Someone else tweeted at Lee Ross saying, will we learn more about Willard Wyler's agenda in Rave in the Redwoods? And Lee Ross said, oh boy, are you going to learn about Willard? He's a real monster and will do anything to get his magnum opus. Hashtag Willard Wyler. So that's definitely good. It's good to see that they're finally going to be expanding on the storyline a lot, since it was very secluded within Zombies in Spaceland. They kept a lot of it under the wraps. They made it very, very secretive. Apart from ciphers, we didn't really get that much information in regards to the storyline and stuff like that. And we still don't really know the true meaning of the ciphers and the stuff with Mephistopheles and stuff like that. Now here's the next thing. Someone said, is there going to be an ending cutscene for Zombies in Space? And he responded with the zipper emoji again. So he's been teasing that we could see a ending cutscene on Zombies in Spaceland. Now at the moment, when we complete the main Easter egg, it doesn't seem like there's a cutscene, but a lot of people have been having this idea of this cross map Easter egg, like a super Easter egg for Infinite Warfare Zombies. A lot of people thought we were going to see one for Black Ops 3 Zombies, but it doesn't seem like that was the case. But Lee Ross has confirmed there is definitely a cross map Easter egg on Zombies in Spaceland in regards to the symbols that we see within the Pack-a-Punch room and the soul key and stuff like that. So people think that maybe there's going to be an ending cutscene on Zombies in Spaceland, but we'll unlock it as the DLC, continues. We'll have to go back to that map and complete some sort of new Easter egg in order to get that ending cutscene. Now here's the next interesting thing. Someone else tweeted at Lee Ross saying, does the soul key we got in Spaceland have anything to do with Rave in the Redwoods? Lee Ross said, it has everything to do with everything you do. So the soul key is going to be something that's going to continue throughout all of the maps. Sort of like the summoning key within Black Ops 3 Zombies. It's going to be something that's going to be the main focus of the storyline, and we're going to carry it with each of the maps, and it's going to play a big part of the storyline in every single map, including Rave in the Redwoods. Someone responded to Lee Ross saying, can we play as David Hasselhoff like in Zombies in Spaceland? And again he replied with the zipper emoji. So maybe David Hasselhoff is going to be returning within this map. Now someone said, any hints on the soundtracks in Rave in the Redwoods? And then Lee Ross said, only thing I can say is Brian Bright, which is the head of Infinite Warfare Zombies, did an amazing job with our music for Rave in the Redwoods. Fun fact, Brian used to be a DJ, so there's going to be a really good music track from the sounds of it for Rave in the Redwoods. I presume it's going to fit the Raver theme as well as the 90s theme and stuff like that. So hopefully it has a dark theme track as well. That would be good to see because the map's going to be quite a horror film. Now someone responded to Lee Ross saying, these blank responses are going to be the death of me. Lee Ross responded saying, can't give everything away now, could I? ... question mark. Then he responded saying, no, but just knowing you have all the knowledge but keeping it just out of reach is torture. Lee Ross responded, imagine how you'll feel once you crack the code and figure it out. Hashtag legend. So it's sort of teasing that maybe this sequential of tweets may be putting together some sort of code or something like that, which we may have to figure out. Someone else responded to Lee Ross saying, how long do zombie maps take to build? And then Lee Ross said, we have an amazing level designer in Brittany Maxey. She is fast, super talented, and has a great vision for our levels. Now someone else responded to Lee Ross saying, also any live stream showcasing the DLC coming up soon? And he responded saying, of course. So we're going to be seeing a live stream of the DLC soon, like we did with the Zombies in Spaceland, where they gave us like a little gameplay walkthrough of up to like round 8 or something like that. I don't want them to do this though. I just want to see a gameplay trailer and the intro cutscene. I don't want them to give us a little walkthrough of the map because it would really ruin the anticipation and stuff like that. I really hope they don't do that. Someone else said to Lee Ross, what's your favorite Treyarch Zombies map? He responded saying, Mob of the Dead, love the casting, local and theme. So it's good to see that his favorite Treyarch map is Mob of the Dead, and now they're creating Rave in the Redwoods, which is similarly another horror map, so maybe they'll take some inspiration there from the horror setting that they had within Mob of the Dead and bring some cool things from Mob of the Dead that were, horror factors over to Rave in the Redwoods. Next up, someone tweeted to Lee Ross saying, will there be any content added to Zombies in Spaceland in this DLC? Then he said, Fate and Fortune cards transcend maps, as does player progression. Then someone said, will there be any trailer for Rave in the Redwoods between now and map launch? He responded saying, yes, so we're going to be seeing a gameplay trailer very, very soon, and he's also given us a ton of information regarding the Brute, the brand new boss zombie. It seems like he's going to be a very, very hard boss, so that's good to see. There's going to be new perks on this map, and he's given us a ton of other little details as well, teasing that there's going to be an ending cutscene and, stuff about the trailer and stuff like that. So anyways, thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not the latest and greatest Infinite Warfare Zombies news information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye.